let's walk through the strategy of the Trump Stahl, rumble in the jungle. So he walks out of it, and we're gonna have some behind the scenes information about why he might have walked away. He says at a rally, because this is now part of his material, he says, "Oh, and you have to watch what we do to 60 Minutes. You'll get such a kick out of, you're gonna get a kick out of it. Lesley Stahl is not going to be happy." Okay, so we're gonna try to get into his mindset and figure this out. So Lesley Stahl is not going to be happy that he's releasing the interview that she appears to have been just fine with coming out, that he walked out of. I don't know what that means, and I'm trying. I feel crazy after 7 months, but
I came up with it, John. This is the answer. This is what he thinks, and I think this matches, right? So he's obsessed with ratings, and every time he talks about media organizations, he doesn't talk about how he cries foul and it's false and fake news, but every time he comes back to ratings. So he thinks, man, 60 Minutes, man, they got this big scoop to have me on. So they're gonna release it on whenever, the Sunday. I don't know when 60 Minutes comes on, but they're gonna release it on Sunday. I'm gonna release it sooner, and it's gonna destroy their ratings. That's his only play here. That's all he's thinking. That's gotta be it.
Maybe.
He's like, oh, they're gonna be so mad because I'm gonna release it, and then they don't have it exclusive. That's really what it is. It can't be. What else can it be?
Let's say that you're right. Okay, so let's go through it. Let's process strategically, is this good for him? So in terms of the ratings, now his episode, according to his theoretical strategy, will now get far lower views than Joe Biden's, because Joe Biden is also gonna be interviewed by Lesley Stahl. And this is coming off of dueling town halls where he got better ratings already, Joe Biden did.
Right.
So if he's obsessed with ratings, that seems like a bad idea. And think about the two different audiences. So he could just wait and release it to 60 Minutes. And there's presumably a lot of people who watch 60 Minutes that aren't necessarily predisposed to vote for him, that if he had given a sane interview might be swayed. Instead, he's going to shank that and release it himself on Twitter, I guess. And that will get his base to watch it, but they're already voting for him. And all of this goes to, is he the electoral genius that people are assuming that he is? And I am searching for evidence, and I am coming up empty. I've got nothing. This seems like he likes it. All of this is psychologically, this is him, Jeffrey tubing for like the whole country. That's effectively what it is. And it works for his base. They like it because they're doing the same Zoom call shenanigans as he is. That's all politics is to them. But in terms of actually winning an election and winning over new people, even the people he's explicitly saying he wants to win over, I don't see any of this actually helping him. I just don't. Maybe I'm crazy. Tell me in the chat if I'm crazy. I don't think so.
Well, there's been a string of things he's done recently that don't make much sense, and big supporters of his. I mean, we're gonna talk about Mike Huckabee, and and then Brian Kilmeade is trying to find ways to figure out why he would do such a thing. Brian Kilmeade had 2 instances where he's like, I don't know why he would do this. It was the not condemning white supremacy, and then I forget the second one, but they're all trying to figure out why.
Stopping negotiations for the stimulus.
That was right. They're like, why would he torpedo these so many things? I thought he was a genius. Like, they can't figure it out because none of it makes any sense. So especially from your point of view, John, where we're actually critical of the things that he does, people that are supportive of everything he does are also, they're perplexed because none of it makes any sense. It's shooting himself in the foot and it's slapping himself in the face. And then they keep going back. I thought he was a master negotiator. Bro, we've been talking about this his entire life, that he's not a master negotiator. He's just fooled you long enough to believe so.
Maybe. So you gave us your potential theory. I have a potential theory, and I'm gonna roll it out in just 1 minute. I wanna just read a little bit of this behind the scenes information first. And I think in the end, bold prediction, my theory, I think a lot of people are gonna agree with it. So according to a person with knowledge of what happened during the interview, Trump was unhappy that Stahl asked him tough questions regarding his rhetoric about Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, saying she deserves to be locked up, effectively saying the militia was doing the right thing, and his handling of the coronavirus pandemic, which he's been complaining about the fact that there's a focus on in the election at rallies, as well as the size of the crowds at his rallies, which are super spreader events, and his disputes with Anthony Fauci, a guy that he's pretending supports him who doesn't, the nation's leading infectious disease expert. Notably, it's Fauci, it's not Scott Atlas. Stahl also told him during the interview that allegations against Biden's son Hunter were not verified, which is true, and that the Obama administration did not spy on the Trump campaign because they didn't. Many of the questions were about the coronavirus pandemic and his handling of it, said this unnamed person who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the interview frankly, and so that like they didn't wake up with Roger Stone's head in their bed or something. So when Trump first walked in, Stahl looked at him and said, "Are you ready for a tough interview?" The president believes 60 Minutes will cut the interview in an unflattering way and has been talking all afternoon about how to preempt the footage, said this person. So they'd cut it in an unflattering way, which means using video footage, because there's no flattering thing that they're gonna get out of that. So here's my theory. Here's what happened. He walked into the interview, she was tough. She asked him about the multiple crises facing America and his election strategy being founded in right-wing fever dreams about Hunter Biden. He lost it, he ran out, and all of this stuff is cover. That's all it is. It's not a real strategy, it's not preempting, it looks bad that I had a hissy fit and ran out of the room. So I'm gonna make it seem as if I've got a big storm brewing, that I've got this plan, that I'm like, no, you ran out. I don't know if it was because he was roided up or just because he has the emotional resilience of a 5-year-old on too much sugar. But that's what I think it is. I think he ran out and he doesn't want to look like he ran out. So he's going to make it about Lesley Stahl, who apparently just asked him tough, honest questions.
And I bet you some of those tough, honest questions were follow-ups that included the words who, what, wait, when, wait, well, why? Like those are simple 1-word follow-up questions. No, and it seems I tweet it all the time, especially in the interviews when someone doesn't ask them, or debates or the town halls when no one asks them. Wait, okay, so why? If you say, well, why would this happen? Everything is a prediction of what will happen in Joe Biden's America. If you just ask him, well, why would that happen? How would that happen? Oh, you said everything is bouncing back so much and the economy is shooting off like a rocket ship. Can you give me those numbers? Where? It's simple questions. This isn't hard.
Yeah.
A middle school journalist can do it. If you're just learning about how to ask someone a question, how to interview someone, it's just, well, how? Just a general curiosity for the answer without moving on just because the president said something and then moving on. That's what we do in politics and in political reporting now. If the politician says something and talks long enough the way Mike Pence does, eventually you just say, okay, we run out of time, so let's move on to the next. Instead of going, well, how?
Like I said, we have really fast. We have 2 categories of things left to potentially affect the election. Well, 3. We have 3 categories of things that could potentially affect the election, which he has differing levels of control over. One is purely random domestic or international events. Someone attacks us. There's a terror attack, something like that. I don't know. The pandemic is hypothetically one of those things. There's stuff that he's supposed to be doing during the campaign, like the interview with Lesley Stahl, like the debates, which he's now down to just 1. He has one last chance to do something sane to turn this around. And then there's the stuff I'm most worried about, which is what's he going to announce? What's like, I keep saying next Wednesday, big news Wednesday before the election, he announces the vaccine. You heard it here first, clip it out. We're not going to, but and with this regularly scheduled stuff, I don't know what he's doing, man. It doesn't mean he can't win. He can win because life is hell, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna win because of a strategy, because the strategy ain't there. No, it's just not.
Yeah, he's definitely not convincing anyone based off of any kind of a vision of a great future under Donald Trump. It's strictly because it's like we have to surround ourselves with each other, and you voted for me just because you hate everyone else. That's the only thing there.
Yeah, that's it. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.